Thanks for joining us here on the 2008 Technology News Review, a recap of the year's tech news. Topping the news is the seemingly unending saga between Microsoft and Yahoo. In February, Microsoft offered a nearly $45 billion unsolicited bid to buy Yahoo. After some back and forth and complaints from Yahoo that the offering price was too low, Microsoft pulled its offer off the table in May, only to revisit it later that month. Again, the deal fell through. It was quiet for a while until late November, when the Times of London reported that Microsoft was looking to buy Yahoo's online search business for $20 billion. To date, the soap opera has yet to see an ending, although Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer said he is still open to a deal with Yahoo sooner rather than later. Yahoo's deal to run Google advertising on its search pages also fell through. Google backed out of the deal, saying that the US government was planning to block it. The deal was projected to add $800 million to Yahoo's annual revenue. After pressure from shareholders and others because of his perceived mishandling of the Microsoft deal, Yahoo founder and CEO Jerry Yang stepped down from his post and out of the spotlight. All along, Yahoo's stock has taken a rollercoaster ride with a high of about $30 per share in February to a recent close of less than $11 per share. A superstar in the tech industry, Bill Gates officially retired in June from the company that he founded. Handing over the reins to Steve Ballmer, Gates will still be active on the board of Microsoft, but will dedicate most of his time toward philanthropic efforts at the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. Most recently, he's called on U.S. lawmakers and the incoming Obama administration to not forget about the poor and disadvantaged during the economic downturn.
It can be hard in these times to keep spending money to develop the potential of the poorest people. They don't have the strongest voice. And frankly, you can get the economy growing again without tapping their talent. But I think we should have a bigger goal than getting the economy growing again. I think we should expand the number of people who are contributing to the economy and benefiting from it.
2008 saw the end of the latest format war. In February, Toshiba's HD DVD fell to Sony's Blu-ray. Prior to Sony's victory, some movie studios and chain shopping stores began offering content exclusively on the format, signaling the upcoming departure of HD DVD. Toshiba has vowed to continue to support HD DVD players and discs, but has ceased production of them and hasn't indicated whether it will begin producing Blu-ray players. We've heard talk about the connected home, but what about the connected airplane? This year, technology took to the skies with a number of airlines offering in-flight Wi-Fi. Costing about $15 for longer flights, passengers in the cabin can log on to the web, check email, and even stream online videos from 30,000 feet. Some airlines have chosen to block inappropriate content and all block voice over IP. Aircell is the provider for many of the airlines, and the technology works using special 3G towers on the ground. Also coming to the skies, in Europe at least, will be cell phones. In April, the European Commission allowed for the use of cell phones on airplanes, though it's up to the carriers to determine the rules. Some may just allow text messages, others may not impose any rules and let passengers talk for as long as they want. Also in Europe this year, Microsoft ran into some trouble with the European Commission and was fined about $1.3 billion for what the competition commissioner called continued failure to honor a 2004 antitrust ruling. Microsoft had already been fined over $1 billion by the commission. The 2004 antitrust ruling ordered Microsoft to detail communications protocols used by its Windows Server operating system so that other manufacturers could build systems that interoperate smoothly with Windows. The latest February fine punished Microsoft for failing to license these protocols to open-source software developers at what the Commission views as a reasonable price.
In plain English, this is to say that Microsoft continued to abuse its powerful market position after our March 2004 decision requiring it to change that practice. Microsoft continued to stifle innovation. How? By charging other companies prohibitive royalty rates for the essential information they needed to offer software products to computer users around the world.
The mobile phone market was hot this year with big debuts. First, there was the iPhone 3G, an updated, faster, and more powerful version of its predecessor that's caused a craze among Apple fans and the public alike. Steve Jobs teased fanatics at the company's Worldwide Developers Conference in June before the phone hit the market in July. One of the new features Apple offered in addition to the phone was the App Store, where users could upload and download free or fee applications for the phone. Google also made a move in the mobile market this year with the introduction of its open-source platform called Android. We first got a glimpse of it early this year at the Mobile World Congress in Spain, but it wasn't until September that T-Mobile USA introduced the G1, the first cell phone to use Google's Android software. It was seen as a step ahead for Google and a promising platform, but by no means an iPhone killer. Like Apple, Google offers a store where users can find applications designed by any developer for the Android OS. And one final device that didn't receive as much fanfare as the previous two, but is worth noting, is the BlackBerry Storm. It's the first device from Research in Motion without a physical keyboard, featuring just a touchscreen. While this was an innovation for RIM, reviews from the New York Times, PC World, and others found the phone underwhelming and even frustrating at times. Still, the Storm was the best-selling debut ever from a company that dwarfs both the iPhone and the G1 in total sales. On the world stage in 2008 was the US presidential election, in which candidates used the web like never before. In fact, this election was the first one in which YouTube played a role. Republican John McCain and Democrat Barack Obama posted messages on the site that actually never hit the traditional airwaves. Both politicians had MySpace and Facebook profiles in hopes of reaching a younger demographic. In November, Obama was the victor, but it wasn't without electronic voting trouble on Election Day. While there was no systemic outages of e-voting machines, there were some isolated incidents.
Our voting machine is broken, it's down. And it appears that they don't have a backup machine, or they don't have a way of quickly fixing it, so they're going to paper ballot. But there's a huge feeling that our ballots will not be counted since they're paper ballots.
If there was one theme that was seen across the board in both consumer and enterprise arenas, it was green. It helps the environment, but also the company's bottom lines. At the IFA Consumer Electronics Show in Berlin, we saw a TV from Sharp that ran off a solar panel, and TVs from LG that adjusted the backlight depending on the amount of light in the room. At CTEC in Japan, there was a prototype cell phone running on a fuel cell from Toshiba. Other companies, including Sharp, NEC, Hitachi, Sanyo, Fujitsu, and Canon, have all shown or disclosed fuel cell research, but nothing yet has come to market. Also keeping with the green theme, Greenpeace railed against game console manufacturers for not being environmentally friendly. The group analyzed a PS3, Wii, and Xbox 360 Elite and found that they contain chemicals that would not be allowed in young children's toys, even though the technology to eliminate them is available. The green trend should continue and strengthen in 2009 because of the benefits for both manufacturers and consumers. And that's the 2008 Technology News Review. Be sure to check out our other year-end wrap-ups. I'm Nick Barber with reporting by the worldwide team of the IDG News Service.